Hi guys, so this is a very different video for me. If you have been following me for a while, you'll know that this isn't a different video for me. I do lots of obviously comedy and fun stuff, but there's a lot more obviously to a human than that. But for me, I like to get deep. But today anyway, I've been umming and ahhing about doing this because I just wanted to talk to everybody a little bit about grief and everything that goes with it. But I've been kind of wondering whether or not to do this video because for me, I'm only 4 months in, so it's not something that I know how to deal with or can give advice on. For some of you that might not know, on February the 6th, 2019, this year, we lost our dad to a glioblastoma multiforme, which is cancer, a tumour in your brain. I shared bits of it because I'm a huge advocate for mental health. Well, not even mental health, just being bloody human. And I think it's important to talk about these things. We are always taught throughout our entire life how to live, get a job, do this, do that, do the other, but nobody talks about dying or death or grief. And it is something that is so taboo in society that when it comes, we're like, we don't know what to do with it. Like, what do we do with it? How do we carry on? And like, it is different when you lose a parent. There is no comparison to it. Obviously, as you grow up, you lose maybe a pet or an aunt or a grandparent, which is awful in itself. But there is no comparison to it. I have 3 beautiful younger sisters, an incredible mum, and a beautiful family around me. My younger sister is 10, and it makes me so angry that she won't get what I got growing up because she's so little. It makes me angry that I'll never get to introduce my children to their grandfather. It makes me angry that this big part of our lives is gone. And you're not ever taught how to live without somebody. You know, you're taught how to do all these different things, but you're never taught how to live without somebody. And a parent obviously is such a big part of somebody's life. If you're blessed enough to have a parent, like beautiful parents, a beautiful family, or a parent figure or a guardian, it is all consuming. And I'm only 4 months in to this, but it feels like a lifetime. And I just wanted to chat about it. I was so surprised the amount of people that reached out to me and said that they'd lost somebody, they didn't know what to do, or they've been suffering. And prior to this, obviously, I've been talking about mental health a lot on my channel. I just always have, on my Instagrams and my Facebook. And the amount of people that came forward and were like, oh, thank you for talking about it, and then asking me for guidance and things. Obviously, I haven't got a clue, but and I replied to everybody. That's something that I find really, really, that to me is really important, and it's just kind of got to the point where I thought, right, well, if I do this little video, then maybe it's something we can talk about, something you can maybe listen to, maybe feel less alone. I don't really know. I guess it's kind of cathartic. I'm not really sure. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I just felt compelled to talk about grief. And also, not 2 years later, not 4 years later, not 10 years later, not 8 years later, just a few weeks later, about it. And I spoke to a beautiful lady who is a palliative care nurse. So a palliative care nurse is somebody that looks after somebody, looks after people when they're coming towards the end of their life. And she used to be a bereavement counsellor, and she said to me, it is going to get worse. 4 months is nothing. All I feel is lost right now, in shock. Still, it hasn't sunk in. Of course, it's not sunk in, and apparently it's not going to sink in for a really long time. But she said when you get to sort of 7, 8, or 9 months, that's when you're going to need help, and that's when people will not be there. People forget, you know, life goes on. The minute, you know, he passed away, it was like the world should just stop. Why is everybody carrying on? And then I have felt this massive shift in me, and I find it really hard. I'm fighting to still try and care about things. You have this really beautiful group of people and your friends, which I'm so lucky to have, that will check in, realise it's not just, you know, a couple of weeks of feeling sad. It is a really long process. It's going to get worse, is what I've been told. It's going to get worse. And then people were comparing it to their parents divorcing, or losing a grandparent, or they had a loved one that had cancer, but then they lived. It's not the same. It really isn't the same. I'm now part of a club that I didn't ask to be a part of. And it's really quite crap. We don't even get cake. For the last year, I felt completely numb. And it's been really difficult to get excited about anything, to celebrate anything, to put effort into relationships. I have changed so much as a person, but I know that I'm gonna be okay, because I'm lucky to have beautiful friends and family, an amazing community back home where I'm from, and in London, and where I live right now with my husband. In life, we're not told how to deal with grief, and we're not told how to speak to people that are going through grief. It's one of those awkward things, isn't it, that like, do I bring it up, do I not, do I ask them how they are? I personally, if I will bring it up if I want to bring it up. Nobody talks about it, which is half the reason why I'm thinking, after getting all these messages and stuff, we need to be talking about it, so that's why I'm here. It is actually just as much a part of life as living is. And yet we're not taught how to deal with it, as much as bringing children into the world is, as much as getting a job, getting married, finding the love of your life, getting a dog. Death is a part of it, and we're not taught about it. I'm currently at a stage now, only 4 months in, I don't know the scientific things, but I'm angry at a lot of things, and I'm not an angry person. My speech is slurred, I forget things. I literally met somebody the other night. I've met her, and I couldn't tell you her name or anything. It just, your priorities change. So things that I maybe don't need to retain, like a face or a name, you know, obviously I would normally, but obviously it's not the way my body's working. I forget, or I get stressed out, like I go from 0 to 100 in like no time. I haven't got the capacity to be able to empathize with somebody that's having an issue that I'm like, that is not an issue. For example, somebody might moan about, oh, I've just moved into a beautiful new home, but the kitchen floor tiles haven't arrived in time. And I know everybody has problems, but I just cannot reason with you there, Sandra. And I actually don't care about your kitchen tiles. Sorry. Do you know what I mean? But that being said, at the same time, I'm the sort of person that people will come to you for advice because I love it. Trying to help people, it's just, you know, who doesn't? But people have gone, oh, this is going on, this is going on, this and this. Oh, but it's nothing compared to what you've got going on. And it's like, do you know what? No, okay, maybe it isn't actually, but everyone has something going on in their life, and it is okay to speak to somebody that's grieving about what you've got going on. I mean, don't tell me that your kitchen tiles is the biggest thing and it's the most stressful thing in the world, because that isn't. Let's just get that straight, all right? But, you know, if something's happened in your life, you know, a relationship's going south, or something's happened, or work's bad, or whatever, I want to know. I want to hear about it. I cry at everything. I never used to cry that much, but over the last 18 months, I'm like, who is this girl? There is no rule book, and there is no right or wrong way to behave. The only people that will understand it are the people that have done it, have been through it. If you haven't been through it, I hope you never have to go through cancer. I hope you never lose somebody earlier than they should be going. We weren't equipped for this. We're not equipped. You know, you spend your whole life planning and assuming that you're going to have this person around for a long time, that they're going to see the things that you want them to see, that you're going to be able to have that conversation with them the next day, that they'll meet their grandchildren, that you'll go on these amazing holidays, that they'll make these amazing memories when they retire. But it's not guaranteed. There are a few things I have learned, though, in the last 4 to 18 months. Life is really, really short, and tomorrow isn't guaranteed. If you are blessed with a really beautiful family, like I am, make sure you tell them that you love them and that you appreciate them, even if sometimes they do your head in. How lucky you are, though, to have somebody that loves you that much. And they might not always show it in the way that you'd like, but what's really lovely is that they love you and they raised you, and that is something really special. Well, my understanding of grief is that grief is really, really overwhelming, but the overwhelming sadness that you feel is just love with nowhere to go, which I actually kind of take comfort in. When you love someone that much, the sadness that you feel is just the overwhelming love that you had for this person, and I know that's never ever going to go away. But also, it's really something that I've found that I can take comfort in. It's just love. Grief's just love with nowhere to go. Surround yourself with incredible people. Distance yourself, take a step back from the relationships that might not be making you feel good, because at the end of the day, this is all that matters. Protecting this and your family is all that matters. Make allowances for people. We all have friends that it's like, oh, I'll go to so-and-so for advice about this. Oh, but I'd go to so-and-so about this. And oh, if I've got this joke, I'll tell this particular friend. You have a friend for everything different. And in grief, like I said, nobody knows how to handle things. Nobody knows what to say or do. So just, even though you're probably feeling really angry, and you're angry at the fact that the world hasn't just stopped and they've gone back to work, how can they work at a time like this? Make allowances for people. Everybody has their own way of dealing with grief. And also, people don't know how to deal with it, or how to deal with a friend that's dealing with it. So if maybe a friend doesn't maybe ask you how you are, or acknowledge it much, maybe their way of making you feel good, or what they think is going to work, is to not acknowledge it and to just carry on. Take a breath, understand that that's just who they are, and that's okay. And that's why we have friends, for different things. Does that make sense? Always keep hope, because, oh, bloody hell, that is the only thing, especially with cancer, that can keep you going. Friends, family, and hope. Don't ever let anybody take that away, even when they pass away. Hope that you're going to be okay. Hope that you'll get through it. Hope that your life will carry on and be beautiful, and hope that you will do them proud. Hope is so important. It is so powerful. I lost faith when it happened. I didn't understand. I still don't understand why the best man in the world, as far as I'm concerned, with a young family, would have to endure what he did, what we did. And I was angry that if there is somebody up there that controls things, then why do bad things happen to good people? I don't understand it. But I'm trying to replace that anger with trust. Trust that everything's gonna be okay, and faith in people and relationships. And the universe, I don't know, from the little town that I'm from, literally came together like this for our family. And that is the most powerful thing. That is faith. That is the faith you need. Another thing I've learned is to talk when you want to, not when somebody else tells you to, not when a friend says, let's sit down and talk about it. I mean, if you want to, then that's great. But if you don't want to, you can say no. I'm still having trouble with that. Saying no, I don't want to talk about it. But you can. And then also reach out to people that have been through it. Because they're the only ones that get it. And they're the only ones that know. And they still won't know what to say, because nobody knows what to say. But there's comfort in knowing that you're not alone in the way that you're feeling, and that it is a really long process, I'm told. And I'm like, literally, it's not even at the tip of the iceberg, although it feels like, even though the last year that we had with him was really difficult, it didn't prepare me to say bye. Why would it? And if you need professional help, get some. So I'm trying not to be angry, but then also really allowing myself to feel whatever the hell I need to feel. I've heard a lot of people give different theories about grief. There was the theory of a ball being in a box, and at the moment when it's very new, that ball is all encompassing, it's touching all sides of the box. So you're feeling everything. It's very big, this grief, this ball of grief. And then over time, the ball never disappears, it just kind of gets smaller. And then every now and then, whilst this ball's bouncing around, it hits the side, and it's like, oof, there's that pang of grief. But literally, I'll be on holiday and I'll think, oh, Dad would have loved this. And that's it, I'm gone. I'll see a person with their a grandchild with their grandparent, and I get upset. Like, it's there. Obviously, my ball is like this still. but it's always there. But the one theory that I really liked, that a good friend of mine sent me, was that this horrible big thing happens. And imagine you're a tree, and this great big obstacle comes in, and it's there, right there. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's always going to be there. But what a tree would do would be to go around it and entwine it, wrap around it, and continue to grow. And it's still there, it's inside it, but it continues to grow. And I really liked that. It just really resonated with me, so I just wanted to share that. Like I said, I don't really know what the point is to this video. It might not even make sense, but it's just something that I wanted to chat about. I wanted to talk about, and also just make it a bit less taboo and let you know what's really going on, because you've got to keep it real. Social media these days is so full of rubbish, and you know, it's easy to do a big fun challenge and this, that and the other, but it's really difficult to actually come on and just be human. You know, in a world where we're getting validated by the number of likes that we're having, people are forgetting to just be. So yeah, if you do know somebody that's going through maybe what I'm going through, whether that's 4 months in, it's just happened, or whether it happened 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, it is something they're going to carry with them for the rest of their life, and it's never going to go away. If you do know somebody that is going through it, just give them a cuddle, a cup of tea, maybe a glass of wine, and just let them know that you're there. And if my family going through something so awful allows me to be able to maybe help a person, then at least some good has come from something that's super bad. So yeah, I guess that's why I'm doing a video. Anyway, that is it from me today. I mean, it was a pretty sad video concept. But what I will ask you to do is maybe just share, so someone might not feel as alone. That's it. Alright guys, I'll see you again next week. I love you all so much, and yeah, we'll chat again soon.